Welcome to the Kansas Society Daughters of the American Revolution virtual tour presentation entitled Kansas Daughters Making Our Mark. In the next 10 minutes, you will fly throughout Kansas, visiting a sample of historical markers placed by DAR. Along the way, you will witness the diversity of historical events and individuals that our Kansas Daughters have commemorated, including presidential visits, Native American ruins, and significant exploration trails. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the tour. Our first stop takes us to Hutchinson in northeast Kansas, where the Hutchinson chapter of the Kansas Society DAR marked a location near the courthouse square where Abraham Lincoln gave an address on December 2, 1859. On that evening, Lincoln addressed a large crowd on the issue of slavery. News is received of the abolitionist John Brown's execution earlier on the same day. Compare this photo of the DAR marker taken in 1919 to the photo of the same marker taken in 2011. Nearly 100 years, and although the development around the marker has changed, the integrity of the marker remains, demonstrating the value of marking our important places. Let's travel now to Hutchinson and the site of another presidential visit. Warren G. Harding paid a visit to central Kansas on June 23, 1923, to talk to local producers about legislative measures taken by the government to assist American farmers. In the photo shown here, President Harding is standing in a wheat field owned by Chester O'Neill and holding toddler Mary Jane Dyson, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Andis Dyson from Hutchinson. In recognition of his visit, the Untitled Chapter of DAR placed this historical marker, which stands today in the town park. Kansas heritage is rich with Native American history. Many early tribes called Kansas home, including the Pawnee, Kaw, and Lenape. Several sites marked by Kansas DAR recognize the significance of our Native American history. Let's go now to Lake Scott State Park, north of Scott City, Kansas. Here we find evidence of the northernmost Pueblo ruins in North America. El Cuartelejo was home to several Indian tribes from the southwest who fled into the high plains to escape Spanish rule in New Mexico. Today, a 12-foot gray obelisk monument and 4 granite corners placed by DAR mark the property. In 2005, State Regent Sammy Cope took on the revitalization of this site, raising over $20,000 towards an interpretive center. El Cuartelejo is one of the featured stops on the Western Vistas Historic Byway. This 102-mile route begins in Scott City and ends in Sharon Springs and is the first historic byway to be designated in Kansas. Several of the historical markers placed by DAR members recognize the early pioneers and settlers, those men, women, and children who braved the hardships and the unknown to forge a new beginning in a territory later to become our home, the great state of Kansas. One of the most notable of these DAR markers in Kansas is the Madonna of the Trail. Located in Council Grove, our Madonna of the Trail was dedicated September 7, 1928, and is maintained by the Council Oak chapter. Madonna of the Trail is a series of 12 monuments dedicated to the spirit of pioneer women in the United States. The monuments were commissioned by the NSDAR and were placed along the National Old Trails Road and extend from Bethesda, Maryland to Upland, California. The 12 monuments were created by sculptor August Leinbach and provide a symbol of the faith and courage of the men and women who helped conquer the wilderness and establish permanent homes. KSDAR is proud to serve as home to one of these 12 monuments. Several DAR markers were placed in Kansas to honor our military and the individuals committed to maintaining safety for our earliest settlers. In Manhattan, the Ogden chapter has collaborated with local partners to mark the Fort Leavenworth to Fort Riley military road. The route connecting these two forts was heavily used to transport supplies and people. In the 1850s, stores and roadhouses in Manhattan catered to the needs of soldiers and civilian freighters of the military road. Kansas Daughters have also placed historical markers to recognize some of the early significant commerce and industry in Kansas. Let's travel back to Hutchinson and the site of the town's first salt mine. In 1887, Ben Blanchard found the salt that has contributed to the development of Hutchinson. Blanchard hired a firm to drill for oil beneath the town. When no oil was found, he dumped some oil into the well to try to convince investors they had struck oil. Although the scheme failed, Blanchard's well had passed through a salt vein. He was uninterested in the salt, but the first Reno County salt processing plant was established in 1888. In 2007, Ben Blanchard's original well was uncovered after many decades of being buried by several feet of soil in a farm field. A marker placed by the Untitled Chapter preserves the importance of this site. By 1910, 26 different salt companies were formed in Hutchinson. Today, only a few salt companies remain, but salt mining is still an important Hutchinson industry. Historic trails are plentiful in Kansas, from cargo and supplies on the Santa Fe, mail on the Pony Express, explorers on the Lewis and Clark, and settlers on the Oregon and California. Kansas was at the center of it all. Our Kansas Daughters have marked many significant points along these historic routes. One such marker is located near Alcove Springs and marks a spot where the ill-fated Donner Party stopped along the Oregon Trail in 1846. The party stopped here to wait for the Blue River's waters to recede, providing a safer crossing. During their respite here, one of the party, Sarah Handley Keyes, died. The 70-year-old Keyes, who was in poor health before she started the journey, was en route to Idaho to see her son there one last time. Spurred by the centennial of the Donner Party's stay at Alcove Springs, the Arthur Barrett chapter placed this marker at the site of Sarah Keyes' passing. Sarah Keyes' father was a patriot in the American Revolution. Marking of the Santa Fe Trail in Kansas, the state's first highway, has been the focus of several KSDAR administrations, including State Regents Fanny Geiger Thompson, Emma Hill Stanley, Grace Ruth Meeker, and most recently Shirley S. Capel. To see two great examples of these markers, let's visit the Heartland Marker in Kearney County and then the Waldeck Marker in Marion County. Not far from the Chisholm Trail, the Waldeck Marker also highlights the outstanding remnant ruts of the Santa Fe Trail. During her At Home on the Plains administration, State Regent Shirley Capel raised funds to restore the original 89 state markers and 4 chapter markers. In 2011, the National Society DAR recognized the Kansas Society for this outstanding achievement in historic preservation. In the past 100 years, Kansas Daughters have placed more than 200 markers commemorating the places, people, and events that shaped our state and national history. I hope you have enjoyed this sampling of sites in this virtual tour and are motivated to make an actual journey to these sites someday. As stated in our KSDAR history book, for over 110 years, the Kansas Daughters have been creating sacred spaces, patriotic landscapes, separating them from the ordinary with monuments, putting up guideposts. Here is the best of what Kansas Daughters have accomplished. As we proceed down the trail of the 2nd century, it heralds what is to come.